The Uber bug, the ultra shortcut, names that are synonymous with the complete annihilation of their respective games' checkpoint systems. Terms which ushered in a new era of record hunting, discoveries, and mysteries for Trackmania and Mario Kart. And now, joining the ranks among shortcutting royalty is the 100-year-old Ford Model T in Gran Turismo 4. Bold claim for sure, especially for a car which is, as previously mentioned, 100 years old, and barely breaks the 20s in terms of power output. But what puts it alongside cars like the Minolta or Formula GT is nothing to do with the power or the handling. Instead, the Model T carries the extraordinary ability to do this.
Where are we? Yeah, don't mind this. What? Hey, the safety marshals are here. I wonder what they're thinking about this. That was so easy.
Alright then, that is a cool gimmick on its own, but surely it is just that, a weird bug which doesn't mean anything. Well, not exactly. Now I've known that this car is able to no-clip for a while now, as probably some of you do as well. However, it hasn't been until fairly recently where I connected the dots because of another infamous glitch at Monaco. Côte d'Azur, a completely fictional track in the city of Monaco, appears in GT3 and GT4 as a fairly well-known out-of-bounds glitch, which could be performed by straight-lining it into this chicane. The game gets confused, and just like that, you're out. But in both games, if you drive a little further forward, the timer will appear in the middle of the screen, signifying a completed lap. For the longest time, I thought it was a glitch unique to Côte d'Azur, mainly because going out the map was seemingly impossible on other tracks. Enter the Ford Model T. With its no-clipping abilities, in theory, more maps can be exploited. Our first stop takes us to 80s Fuji, where this car would have been approaching its 70th birthday. Looking at the track map for Fuji, there are 3 checkpoints which are all quite close to each other, being separated by only 1 or 2 corners each. After taking the straight at law-abiding speeds, the Model T trundles towards the real action.
So yeah, we have crossed the line and we're currently 50 or so seconds into our lap and it's barely been past the first corner.
The second checkpoint was all but a corner away and would eventually be the last contact on the traditional layout of this track.
Yeah, here it is. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to drive into the wall, which may seem counterintuitive, but you can see the wheel sort of clipping through there. Get to this sort of flatter part, and then simply drive through, and any minute now, the lap count. There you go. In this random void, it counts the lap. I have no idea why. But we're gonna try and cut through. We get T1 instantly, 8 seconds, 49 seconds in front. Now all we have to do is get T2, 1 minute 29.
Now here is where things get really broken. When first testing shortcut ideas, I was under the impression you had to cross the majority of checkpoints for the game to count a lap. This theory seemed bulletproof until testing the aforementioned Côte d'Azur glitch. Monaco has 2 checkpoints in GT4. One at the top here a couple of corners before the hairpin, and one down at the swimming pool section. The out-of-map glitch occurs 3 corners before checkpoint 2, meaning that there must be another threshold the game uses to count a lap. My best guess is the game probably has a counter which measures the distance in the race in terms of percentage, so 50% equals 1 lap if you cross that, I guess. Something which kind of backs this up is that when you go far enough out of bounds, the map resets the replay camera back to the starting line. So if you glitch out of the map after the elusive 50% threshold, it resets to the start line. But this time, it thinks you've driven a whole lap simply because you're closer to the finish than to the start. Collecting T1, checkpoint 1, is your way of showing the game evidence you have driven the earlier part of the lap. Another tiny detail worth noting is that you don't even need to cross T1 where it actually starts. This then leads to another thought. So, If there is no percentage of checkpoints which must be collected, we need to figure out the exact point of where 50% of the track is, and find where to get out of the map as soon as possible. And luckily for the Ford Model T, Fuji offers the perfect setup for this, which effectively reduces this multi-million-dollar racing complex to beginner course.
So if we go out around here maybe, T1, that was smooth as well. We didn't even get a jump over the barrier, we just phased through it because this car is so ahead of its time. 18 seconds to T2. Now just build up some speed, get to the flat part, and out we go. Come on. Where's the checkpoint? Come on. 27.833.
Now we've gotten to the point where the biggest thing holding me back is now the Model T itself. To truly push the limits of hot lapping, we must break out the car rate. What this car offers is the same interdimensional travel as the Ford Model T, but with 900 times the power, and magnetic connection to the ground. It's really hard to explain anything happening from this point, so maybe it's best for the car to take center focus.
There we go, 17. Okay. So T2 should be any minute now. 32 seconds. Where are we going? We slow down here, get to the edge of the bridge. Whoa! I got teleported, that's not even what was supposed to happen. What the hell am I? We're on the moon. Why is it teleport?
Midfield was confusing, but it pales in comparison to the next track which completely broke the game, and me. El Capitan. Now this track, going into it, seemed like a big challenge to exploit, with its elevation changes which would surely make some checkpoints inaccessible. T1 starts just inside this tunnel, where it wouldn't be until a downhill section in the middle of the following corner is the 50% mark on the track. In theory then, this short section would make up the entire lap.
I can't even get up because this track is so hilly. In that case, where's the next best place to drop in? Okay, that's T1. Okay, wait. This track is so done. We'd have to use this little section of track normally. And then at the bridge, go off. Okay. I'm thinking then, if I follow the track border,
Optimizing the lap further meant scaling the edge of the track and getting as close to T1 before the game registers the current lap. It's basically like scaling a cliff face, trying to keep your car in the map, out of the map actually.
I can't see over this hill, but I think if I just go straight ahead. Oh my! I got T1 out of the map.
Everything was set. The car just had to take off, slide into the track and grab T1, cross the 50% requirement, and get out of the map as quick as possible. That's not what happened. Instead, I got this run.
What? What? That is insane. What even? I didn't even need to go to T2. I just used one corner on the map and I completed a lap. What? I know, I wasn't even in the map to complete the lap at any point. I was out of the map the entire time.
Like past me said, At no point was the car inside the map. So why the hell did it count? Now I got no concrete idea, but clearly the game's checkpoints actually extend out of the map, and crossing a particular area will pick them up. Secondly, I was still driving on a road surface with collision when crossing the line, and it can only be assumed that the 50% marker also extends out there as well. Using the in-game analyzer tool, things don't seem much clearer. The beginning of the lap only shows this red line. Because maybe 2 people have ever used the analyzer, here's what a normal lap of the track should look like for comparison. It isn't until we get to the downhill section that there's a sudden pulse in the dead graph. This point represents where I skimmed the edge of the track after crossing T1, and ends where I crossed the supposed finish line.
Okay, T1 reached. This track only has 1 checkpoint. And out of bounds, 24 seconds on that lap. And I can register T1 right here. 7 seconds! I've registered. Handbrakey. Come on, T1, 1 second! 4900! Yep, T2 right there. And bam. Yeah, what you can do. T1, 5 thank you game. T2. I don't care about your penalty. I'm just gonna finish.